Everyone, David Coe, the Coe Real Estate Group. One of the things we love to talk about things are here that impact getting escrow closed, and that's things that happen before escrow and after escrow. And today we're here to talk about something you can do to help get into escrow. I've got my good friend James McKibbin here, who's a lender with Movement Mortgage, and we're going to talk about down payment assistance programs, in particular, one that has some time sensitivity to it called the California Dream for All program. So, but before we get into it, James, I'm on your email list. I just saw you guys were the number 8 team in the country for movement and number 1 in California. Congrats.
Thank you. Yeah, 2025 was a great year. It's a lot of work. You know, we had to work some long nights pretty much every weekend. I can confidently say I didn't miss one day of work all last year. I worked every day. But it was a great year. We got to help a lot of amazing families and real estate partners like yourself. And we're looking forward to an even bigger and better year, 2026. And it's shaping up to be a great year. So I'm excited today to talk about these really important topics for all you homeowners out there or prospective home buyers, I should say. And we're going to dive into it. But I've been doing loans for about 21 years. I run a team in the Southern California area, and we do really all types of products. Again, today we'll focus on the incredible first-time homebuyer programs that are being launched right here in the next few weeks. So we're going to get into that in just a moment.
Yeah, I mean, look, down payment assistance programs have been around for a long time. So that's not anything new. But before we kind of get into this California Dream for All, I know you've done, that's kind of how you cut your teeth, right, is in some of these programs. Talk about how most of them been structured over the last few years.
So I got into business in 2005, and my first sales manager had me actually work on Cal HFA, the California Housing Financing Agency products, which is what the Dream program is. That's who it's backed by. So I would send out packages to realtors and then call them. So I got started on these on my first day in lending, and I've always had a passion for working with first-time home buyers, giving education, really walking them through the process, because I really believe in the fundamentals of homeownership. And some of the data is staggering. The average homeowner right now has a 45 times greater than someone that's renting. So because you see homes appreciate, and that's a huge net worth growth add, if you will. So down payment assistance.
I saw a stat on that, by the way, and the average net wealth of someone who's a homeowner was over 400,000. The average net wealth for a renter, and these are countrywide stats, was less than 10,000. So that's the impact that owning a home can have on your net wealth.
It's so astonishing. And in Southern California and California in general, it's usually higher than the national average because homes appreciate faster in California. But there's other data as well. When the average person retires, 89% of their net worth is in their home equity. So it's really a tool that you can use where you make money from a financial perspective while you're sleeping, while you're doing your other jobs. So we'll get into that. And so I love working with first-time home buyers. You know, we'll talk about the Dream for All, which is launching soon. However, there's so many programs. If it doesn't fit for you or you don't get picked for it per se, we can do grant programs, other no money down. So, you know, the best thing you can do is contact us. We're here to help. We're here to give information. We have, I think it's something like 311 down payment assistance programs that we can offer in some capacity. And so we can really carve out.
Are those all state-based or are some of them like local city-based?
That's nationally, I think. It's a big number, but a lot of them are in California. Some are going to be county, city, state. Some are going to be ones that hop up and have maybe 20 million allocated, and once it's gone, it's gone. But there's more than people think out there. People sometimes focus on the bulletin ones that you see. But if you really work with the right lender, someone who's experienced, like myself, we can find products. And here's the beauty of it. If we don't have one, we can get it. We just had a client find something. We're like, whoa, that's an interesting product. We called the provider. You're able to add it in like one day. So we're very good at finding what's out there, seeing what's out there, and then using it. And the reality is we have most of those products already, at our fingertips. So if you're renting today and you're curious about buying, it's a pretty quick process to get pre-approved. It literally takes like 20 minutes to fill out the information. Bring your questions, and we're going to get into some really good data here in just a moment.
Well, let's talk about the Dream for All program, because this one has a time, it's time sensitive, which we'll get into here in a minute. But before we do that, let's talk about what this program is and how it's structured. I believe it's up to 20% is what you can get as a down payment assistance from the state of California.
Yeah, exactly right. So it's either 20% down or 150,000 as a cap. So the Cal HFA Dream for All, Cal HFA has actually been doing first-time home buyer, you know, program since 1975. It's really the go-to, the authority And this product, the Dream for All, this is the third round that's launched. The first one was 300 million allocated. The second one was 200 million. This one's
Which
supposed
one
to
of
be
those
200.
programs like that? Like those things were
Yeah.
filled in like less than a week, right?
The second one went in 9 days. We figured there's about 40 million people, round number, in California. 200 million. You have a lot of prospective buyers that there's nothing like this product, because when someone wants to buy with a low down payment, they maybe put down 3.5% or 5% or no money down. Your payments reflected off potentially 100% of the sales price. With this product, your payment's only off 80% of it. So a lot of times that little gap there really makes the difference from a comfort perspective. So the Dream for All program is a 20% down. You never make a payment. It's a silent second. You have no involvement with it until you sell or refinance. When you do sell, let's say as an example, let's say your home has gone up $100,000. It's a 20% shared appreciation program. So if you make $100,000, you pay back 20,000 of it, because it's basically 20% goes back to the provider, CalHFA. But it's still a great metric where you're going to take a lot of the gains in appreciation.
So, like, let me just, I think that's an important part of this thing. So let's just say for the purpose of this, I buy a $500,000 home, okay,
Yeah.
or a condo, and I can get up to $100,000 of a down payment. I own it for, let's say, 5 years, and then I resell that condo for $700,000. So that extra $200,000, I'm gonna first pay them back their $100,000 for the down payment, and then they're also going to get 20% of all the appreciation off of what I earned on that property.
That's exactly right. Yeah. So you get to keep 80% of the appreciation, pay back 20%. But it's a great vehicle to buy property, start establishing write-offs, kind of live in those ancillary benefits of, you get the tax deduction, you get the write-offs, you get the stability. There's so much data, even non-financial, with, like, I read one the other day that when someone's parents own a home, their kids have like an 89% better chance to go to college. I don't know why that is, but it's just that stability, that foundation. And it really starts to create that multi-generational wealth. Like if you're a kid, or when you're growing up and your friends all have, your parents that have multiple properties, it's kind of cool. It's kind of intriguing, So people sometimes can sell these and then go into that move-up market where you take that 80,000 for that example, and buy something bigger. So it's a great way to use as a vehicle, one, to establish home ownership, but then to keep going with it. It's also pretty expansive. If you look at in LA County, for a single person, you can make up to $168,000. So you can have a pretty high income limit, where some of them are really low, where it's like 80,000, where it's really hard to fit in that box. The sales price you can actually go up to now is the loan amount, 1.249, 125. So it's a really big loan amount. It actually goes all the way up to, and again, this is in LA County, just as an example, the high balance conforming tier. So it's way up there. The old CalHFA used to make it where it had to be what's called household income, where if your kids worked and your grandparents worked and all the income was 300,000, you didn't qualify, and they would kind of test you on that. So now it's really per the applicant. Some of the key restrictions are you can't have owned a property in the last 3 years. That's what makes you technically a first-time home buyer. And the one thing this time is you can't have parents that own homes. So they also can't own property. You have to be kind of a first generation.
Your parents can't own a home? So
That's
your
correct.
parents have to be renters as well?
That's kind of the one change, is that it's really for first generational home buyers on this go around. But it's pretty simple, and we'll get into the timing and how we help you structure this. It sounds confusing, but the reality is we do all the work for you on the loan side. We're a direct partner. Some companies that work as lenders with CalHFA, there's a company in between. We have direct endorsement where they're essentially in our system, because we're a big company and we do a lot with them. It really cuts out a lot of that middleman stuff. It's faster. It also saves the buyer more money because there's less people involved that need to be paid on a loan. So we have a very streamlined approach and a very discounted approach. We want to really support all of our first-time home buyers out there.
Got it. All right. So I have to be a first-time home buyer. I have to make less than $168,000. My parents have to be renters and not homeowners and have never bought a house.
Correct.
But if that's the situation that I'm in, which I'm sure there are plenty of people in California that qualify for that, let's talk about the timeline, because I know this thing is it has deadlines on it. I believe that the window opens up on February the 24th, right?
Yeah, that's correct. So February 24th, it opens up. So if you want to get started, if you're like, we've heard of this, it's not too late. We're at the 19th, you have roughly 5 days. Whether you applied for this 6 months ago and you're kind of waiting and you were talking to a lender, this go round is going to be like a round robin. It's almost like a lottery. I mean, it is a lottery. Before it was first come, first served. People were like right on it right away. So if you apply today or tomorrow, obviously don't wait till the 24th or 23rd, but we can get you in and you'll have the same chance as everybody else. The window closes on March 16th. So if you're not in their system and you haven't applied for a voucher, you won't be in. It's just going to be a cutoff window. So, reach out.
And just to make sure, that closes on March the 16th. They've got between
16th.
the 24th of February and the 16th of March to get their application.
That's exactly right. So you have plenty of time. That time's going to go fast. There's going to be a lot of applicants. The rates on these are very low. They're basically like standard interest rates. Sometimes you have a really higher rate with the down payment assistance program. They came out with a really sharp price on this. It's also pretty expensive. You can go to what's called 50% debt to income ratio. There's some things we can do that before they cut you off at like 43, where you had less buying power. And so, it's a great product. They really, I think who's created this has really put together a very aggressive, compelling kind of blended approach for how to help as many people as they can in buying. And, I've been doing this product in some capacity for about 21 years. So it gets me excited to help people out there to look at, kind of cross comparing if you're renting versus buying, what we can do for you. And, we'll provide our information. But I think the biggest thing is getting started. It's just getting pre-approved. And then we essentially log in for you. You'll get an email from CaliTFA and they'll ask you some questions really around you being a first-time home buyer. And then you'll get.
Do you have to be in escrow? Do you have to have a property identified to get started, or can you start the loan program and then go find a property?
You can start it. So that's a great question. Great question. And it was a little tougher the first couple of times. So if you get chosen for it, you have 90 days to find a property. So it's one of those things where you want to get in, put your hat in the ring. If you don't get it, you can still buy. But let's obviously try for this because it is a great product. And timing goes quick. So reach out. There is some education you have to do. It's 9 hours. There's 8 hours plus the Dream for All has added 1 hour. But that goes quick, and you learn a lot.
It's online, right? You do it from the comfort.
Online. Yeah, it's not in person. It's pretty quick. People do it. They're like, that was easy. But we did have a lot of people that got chosen for the last go around. And a lot of them that didn't, they bought homes. We found a way to get creative in some capacity. We put them into another down payment assistance program. So we are really excited about offering this program as a key provider and partner to CaliTFA. And there's a lot more to the program and the product that I can explain on a one-on-one basis. So, reach out to us, reach out to David. He's been one of my favorite realtors I've worked with for so many years. And, together we'd love to help you guys with the dream of homeownership.
Awesome, James. This has been great info. I appreciate it. One of the things I'm kind of, stuck with after this conversation is we have so many buyers that want a deal, right? And it really isn't that much of a deal market. Well, if you think about it, this is a great way to buy a house for 20% below market value because you get this down payment. Thank you for all your time and info today. I'm going to have your information down below. We'll have our information down below. If you're interested in becoming a homeowner, this might be a great time. And like James mentioned, even if this program doesn't work, getting the ball started, finding other programs, there's help out there. So please know that we're here to help you out.
Yeah.
Thanks, James. David Coe, the Coe Real Estate Group. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next show.
Thanks, guys.